Between Shadows and Promises, a powerful romantic drama about secrets, art, and redemption. The sound of rain tapping against the studio windows was almost hypnotic. Lilian was fully focused on a 19th century canvas, her fingers stained with pigment, her eyes fixed on the cracks time had carved. The warm studio lights made the broken edges of the past seem less sharp. Another day. No surprises, she muttered, unaware that this morning would mark the beginning of something that would change her life forever. The doorbell rang. Lilian wiped her hands on an old cloth and opened the door. A tall man with a scruffy beard and a soaked coat stood there, holding a folder wrapped in plastic. "Are you Lilian?" he asked in a deep voice. "Yes. Can I help you?" "My name is Edie. I'm an architect. I work with the Ortega Foundation, and we have a piece that needs restoration. They said you're the best." She raised an eyebrow, used to those kinds of professional compliments, but there was something in his eyes, urgency and sorrow. "What kind of piece?" "An oil painting. Unsigned. Just the letter E. We found it during the restoration of a 19th century building in Lavapiés. I think there's more to it." Lilian nodded and invited him in. She carefully unwrapped the plastic. The painting was damaged, but under the stains and dust, there was something unusual, intense colors, desperate strokes, as if the artist had tried to trap a soul in the brushwork. "What are you hoping to find?" she asked. "The truth," he replied, with a depth that unsettled her. And so, it began. The first crack. In the days that followed, Lilian worked tirelessly on the painting. Edie visited every afternoon, bringing coffee, historical notes about the building, and a quiet presence that slowly grew on her. They spoke little at first. A look, a gesture, was often enough. But each day, Edie opened up a little more. "The house was once a residence for artists after the war," he told her one afternoon, watching the painting halfway cleaned. "There's a rumor a woman lived there who vanished without a trace, said to be in love with a painter. Their story ended in tragedy." "You think this painting is his?" "Maybe. There's energy in it, like it's speaking." Lilian understood that feeling. She herself felt the painting contained trapped emotions. Oddly enough, every time she touched it, she thought of Edie, his gaze on the past, like it was part of him. One evening, he brought wine and stayed late. Their conversation drifted from art to life, and then to something deeper. "Do you always work alone?" he asked. "Since my mother passed, yes. She was a restorer too. Taught me everything." "And you? Why did you come back to Madrid?" "Someone I loved died. I was supposed to be there. I didn't make it, so I left. I tried to forget. But you can't run from what's inside you." She didn't ask more. Some silences spoke louder than words. That was the first moment she realized she might fall in love with him, and also the first time she was afraid to. Restoring the soul, the painting began to reveal secrets. Beneath the aged varnish, Lilian uncovered a woman's face sketched, haunting, eyes that looked beyond the canvas. "That woman. She looks familiar. Could she be real? Possibly. There are archives, photographs. We should dig." As Edie researched, Lilian kept restoring. Each layer she peeled back from the canvas felt like stripping away part of her own armor. And the more she learned about the painting, the more she longed for Edie, not just his presence, but his truth. Then one night, Lilian found something chilling in an old photograph. "Look," she said. "That woman. She's the same as the one in the painting." "Her name was Elvira," Edie whispered. "She disappeared in 1952. People said she loved a painter who lived with her. And him? Accused of killing her. But no body, no evidence." They locked eyes. The mystery was more than a story, it had become theirs. That night, Edie gently touched Lilian's hand. "I don't know what this is," he said, referring to what was growing between them. "But I don't want to walk away." She didn't speak, just held his hand in return. Echoes of the past weeks passed. They grew closer, but not everything was clear. One afternoon, an unexpected visitor arrived, a sophisticated woman in her 50s. "I'm looking for Eddie," she said sharply. "He's not here." "Who are you?" "I'm his fiancée." Lilian's heart stopped. "His? What?" "Eddie and I have been engaged for 3 years. He came to Madrid for work. Seems he got distracted." The woman left a card and walked out. Lilian was stunned. When Edie arrived later, she didn't speak. She pointed to the card with trembling fingers. "Is it true?" He looked down. "It's not what she says." "Are you engaged?" A long pause. "I was. We ended things before I came here. She just won't let go." "You should have told me." "I didn't think it mattered. I didn't expect this. Us. Well, it happened. And now I don't know what to believe." That was the first day Edie didn't stay. Through the canvas, Lilian avoided him. Her pain poured into her work. But the more she uncovered Elvira's face, the more she realized, love doesn't vanish. It lingers, like paint on an old canvas. Finally, Eddie returned. "I brought you something," he said, laying a manila envelope on her table. Inside was a handwritten letter signed by Elvira. "If I disappear, know it was for love, not murder. I left because they wouldn't let us be together, but I never regretted it. Never. I found it behind the painting," Edie said. "She didn't die. She fled, maybe changed her name, but she loved until the end." Lilian's eyes welled with tears, like love that doesn't fade, even over time. Edie stepped closer. "You reminded me that some things are worth the risk, even when it hurts." She looked at him, hesitated, then kissed him. In that kiss, there was no pain, only promise. The exhibition with the mystery solved. The foundation held an exhibition. The restored painting of Elvira stood tall, her gaze eternal. She had become a symbol of forbidden love, and love that endures. That night, Lilian wore black, elegant. Eddie couldn't look away. People are here to see your work, he said. Ours, she corrected. The room buzzed, but Lilian saw only him. When the music started, Edie reached out. Will you dance? I can't. Doesn't matter. They danced slowly. Between whispers of the past, they made their own quiet vow. Epilogue. What remains? Months later, Lilian's studio was still full of art, but now also filled with books on architecture, 2 coffee mugs, and a coat that wasn't hers by the door. Eddie had stayed. Not for the mystery. Not for the past. For her. And Lilian, who had spent years restoring things broken by time, finally learned how to restore her own heart. Because love doesn't need to be perfect. Just true. Even in the shadows,